everyone. Hello, fabulous you, and welcome to another segment of the Fabulous Life. And it seems like somebody is attempting to join me right now. Nala the Black Cat. So anyhow, these images that you're seeing right now are the pictures of Alexander McQueen. I know I promised you last week that I'm going to show the other pictures of that retrospective that happened at the Met Gala many years ago. This happened a year after he unfortunately took his life. And but New York City, Park Avenue, most especially, was abuzz because it wasn't only the museum goers that were very fortunate to see the designs of McQueen in the flesh, and it was done so beautifully and very sophisticatedly. It happened 1 year after he passed away, and it was one of the most historic fashion retrospectives because I think close to 1 million people went to see his show in New York. And it was so amazing. It was so artistically and sophisticatedly done because each room at the Metropolitan Museum had a collection of his for each season. Like one room was his Russian collection, and the other room was about witches, and the other room was the golden gilded dresses, and also some his collection about Atlantis. And it was, I mean, this guy is like a super genius, and I can talk forever about all these exhibits at the Metropolitan Museum. Like each year, Anna Winter of Vogue, they hold these exhibits, but before that, there's like a year-long, tedious and painstaking preparation, and they invite all the relevant movie stars and the it happening people of the moment. And going back to McQueen, I really enjoyed that retrospective. I bought the black t-shirt which said Savage Garden, which obviously was the name of the Alexander McQueen retrospective. And also I bought a calendar and I bought a book. And I almost broke my bank, basically, by buying all these mementos from the Metropolitan Museum. But the most worth it thing is that I still have it to this day. It's still in my my mini library at home. And so yeah, I mean, New York came to life during that time because it wasn't only the people that attended the Metropolitan Museum that got to see the outfits, the collection, and the artistic, brilliant mind of McQueen, but also the people who were out in the street, because fortunately, all his collection was displayed in Bergdorf Goodman in their massive windows. Bergdorf Goodman, incidentally, is right across the famous Plaza Hotel in New York. And I was in La La Land when I was in New York during that time. And I remember a very curious incident that happened to me while I was outside of Bergdorf Goodman, marveling at all the designs of McQueen. And one lady was looking at the dresses and was saying to herself, "Who's Alexander McQueen?" And then another one said, "Who's Alexander McQueen?" And of course, I was just standing there quietly. And then all of a sudden, like, I couldn't take it anymore, so I started speaking. If you don't know who Alexander McQueen is, that is the artistic genius who just committed suicide last year, and he designed all the outfits basically of Lady Gaga, made him really, really famous with his lobster shoes and his out of this world um, collection and all that. And most especially if you watch the Bad Romance video of Lady Gaga, that's all McQueen from top to bottom. So as I was explaining to them who Alexander McQueen was, all of a sudden there was a crowd gathering around me, and I was really shocked to see that there was like this crowd just listening to me talk about McQueen forever. And after talking, I was like, oh my gosh, these people, I should have charged them for listening to me. I'm just kidding. So anyhow, that was my experience in New York City. I mean, it's funny because before I went to New York City, a lot of people told me, "Oh, the people in New York are very rude, and you know you have to be very careful about them, and the blah 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 and all that." But that wasn't my experience at all when I was in New York. I met the nicest people, you know, in Park Avenue, and I had a very fun and relaxing time, you know, outside of the Metropolitan Museum as well. And I really loved walking the streets of New York, and, you know, took the subway from downtown Manhattan all the way to uptown. So it was really fun. It was really, really fun. Oh, what are we doing here? You know I can't eat that. I'm watching the waistline. One stomach viral flew away from my ideal weight. Oh, what is this? Oh my gosh. Are these my sponsors? Chips? So anyhow, this is one of the shoes that Alexander McQueen created. As you can see, it looks like a coral. And after that, I really, really missed him. I mean, it wasn't only me. I mean, the entire world, you know, loves fashion. I mean, really missed him. I mean, you should have seen his funeral service. It was like a fashion event. Oh, I see that there is a red shoe that matched the Alexander McQueen. And oh my goodness. We have shoes floating around me on my back. I just lost my train of concentration, but that's okay. So these pictures, these images that you guys are seeing are all the display of Bergdorf Goodman during that time. And oh my goodness. My directoire is so funny. And here I am. I have a guest with me. Hey, Nala. Say hi to my viewers.
The president of your...
Can you see his eyes? His yellow eyes. Oh, now I could see a bouquet of flowers coming my way. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness. Well, there you have it, fabulous people. Those are the images of the Alexander McQueen collection during the time that I was in New York. Now, I mean, many years after he gone, now the designer of McQueen is Sarah Burton, who incidentally designed the gown, the wedding gown of Kate Middleton when he married William. So it was a beautiful gown, and probably next time I'm going to show you that gown. You guys probably know which gown I'm talking about. It was a very iconic gown. And, you know, I mean, it just blew my mind. I mean, it was so simple, yet very elegant and sophisticated at the same time. Less is more, as the queen and pope of fashion would always say, Anna Winter. And in my next feature of the Fabulous Life, I am going to feature another portion of the Met Gala. And this time it's going to be Through the Looking Glass. It was all about the Chinese inspiration, from ancient China, and how the designers from Paris have interpreted all the Chinese inspiration through their collection, starting from Valentino to Yves Saint Laurent to who else was there? All these different designers, Armani, Chanel, all these designers that it's just amazing. The Met Gala is like the Super Bowl of fashion, which is viewed every year, and a lot of these people gather around outside of the Met Gala just to see the stars pouring in outside of the Metropolitan Museum, and it's very brutal to get invited. You actually get invited to go to this Met Gala, and even if you're a celebrity, but if you're not the celebrity of the moment, then unfortunately you don't get invited. That's how brutal it is. So you have to be relevant. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't forget your accessory.
My accessory. Anyhow, so next week, don't forget to tune in The Fabulous Life. And also, like I always say, your best fashion accessory is your self-confidence.
That's all.
Chowder!
That's
all. That's all.
So